It's recording.
Okay. Do you do the intro? You do an intro like you would. You're good at do the intro.
But it's your channel.
Do the intro.
Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Not my channel, your channel.
Yeah.
But welcome to the channel. We have just been filming another 3 in the series, more Winter's sit and talk type chat type series. We did a couple many moons ago. You guys may have seen his intro for that. They went down really well actually, and we had a lot of questions from you guys, a lot more questions from you guys, a lot of narrative based questions, a lot of rules based questions. So we came back and did some more. We only really planned to do 1.
No, yeah.
And we filmed 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think we've covered everything everybody asked us.
Just can't stop talking, really. This is all we can do.
What we thought we would do is put a little teaser out on Winter's channel, on Winter's SEO, whereby we would speak about or talk about one of the questions, one type of question.
Yes.
Have a little bit of a chat about that for 5 minutes. Gives you a little bit of a taster as to what exists over on Moarhammer. And I'll plug my own channel shamelessly. If you want to see all of the videos, head on over to Moarhammer. I'm hoping he'll link it in the description below for me.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll find a way.
And I'm sure you can sift through all those videos of me rambling and find the ones of me and this wonderful man on talking hobby.
No, it's good. So basically 2 blokes talking hobby. Lots more of this, your channel, however, teaser.
Teaser, yeah.
You said it better than me.
Teaser.
Yeah, so what was the question?
So I've saved one of the questions from, it wasn't even from one of my patrons this time, it's just from one of the channel content providers, Mike, who's the guy who initially lent me the camera, who got me started basically and went, go and do this, go and start it. He asked a question, so I've saved that one question for your channel as a teaser because I think it's quite important. And because it's quite relevant to sort of your Penitent Forge type scenario in your love for the Mechanicum.
Yeah.
He asks, do we think that Call is playing with even more gene seed types than we already know about behind the back of Rebute Gulliman? I don't know if he means just the 9 Traitor Legions or if he also means all other types of gene seeds, whether it be Xenos genes, all that kind of stuff. He's known as a tinkerer already. Do we think he's playing with more gene seed than just the marine-based stuff?
So Call is definitely playing with all the 9 gene seeds from the Good Guy Legions. We know this.
Yeah.
Call is also playing with all the 9 gene seeds from the Bad Guy Legions. We know this.
Yeah.
It's not in the Mechanicus Codex or in the main rule book, but it certainly is in the Battle for Macragge or the other one. It's in a couple of the books written after the coming of the Primaris Marines and the Cicatrix Maledictum, where Call has a conversation with Gilliman and says, I've made some. And Gilliman says, stop it. He says, no, I've made some, they're battle ready,
work.
They're tested, they work. We've got some Sons of Horus lined up, we've got some World Eaters lined up, Primaris World Eaters lined up, ready to fight for you. And Gilliman says, no, stop it. And then Call is also asking, hey, make me the Fabricator General of Mars. And he says, no, not that either.
Greedy.
Yeah. Call is a 10,000 year old obsessive, compulsive machine, mind, Google, AI. And then in there, does he have more? Does he have some of the unknown gene seeds from the other 2 chapters?
That's the ones I'm really interested in. The 11th and 18th? No?
I think so, yeah, 11th and 18th. Maybe.
We
don't really know what's happened with that gene seed. It's assumed that some of them or both of them were incorporated into the Ultramarines chapter before or during the Great Crusade, because the Ultramarines Legion back then during the time of the Great Crusade was more than double or triple the size of the next closest chapter. They were absolutely massive, and it's assumed that some of them are in there, which means that gene seed, if that is true, then that means that gene seed is not too divergent from the Ultramarines gene seed. There is rumours, and there's been stuff talked about on the Black Library website of Dan Abnett being given permission to write about the 2 unknown chapters at some point, probably after the end of the Horus Heresy, so these secrets will probably come out. But we have to assume that the gene seeds, it's sticking to, we have to assume that that's just wishful thinking, and that these chapters have been eradicated in a very Space Wolf-esque kind of way, because the Space Wolves are the Emperor's executioners. Yeah. Probably executed them, so they might be gone.
I know there's many theories about that out there. I did read one many moons ago, which was basically the fluff behind these 2 missing legions is so loose on purpose.
Yeah.
From GW's standpoint, to allow people to create their own.
That's what it originally was.
And fill that gap.
Yeah.
So, what I wonder now is, do we need that anymore with successor chapters and all that kind of stuff that exists?
Yeah.
Do we need to have that gap anymore? Actually, that gives them some scope to really fill that out. And I would like, maybe that could come from Core.
See, that would be absolutely right. That was the origin. Their original intention was, here's a space so you can make your own stuff, but we don't need that anymore. No. Absolutely. You remember that the Custodes have a gene seed. That's a different type of gene seed.
Yeah.
So, are there more types of gene seed out there, and does Core have access to them? Well, we know he's got access to trait gene seed. There's also the gene seed that unlocks gene seed. So that's in the main rule book. I forget what it's called, but the reason why Core is able to make Primaris Space Marines, I forget what it's called, but Guilliman goes back to the Emperor's own laboratory, and it's like the skeleton key, the master key, and gives him this stuff. This is the unique genetic material, the very substance that the Emperor of Man used, and it unlocks everything. And that's why Core was able to make the Primaris Space Marines.
Why has he got access to the 9 traitor legions, considering what happened? Does he even need access to them? Why has he got that?
Because of the Eldar.
And this is the thing, isn't it? Clearly Core is not really batting for one side or the other.
Core thinks that he's Mechanicus. He probably thinks he's Mechanicum rather than Adeptus Mechanicus, because that's what they were called at the time. He thinks that, but his memory systems have been copy and pasted, his machine mind rebooted so many times for 10,000 years. Imagine doing that on a PC again and again and again and again. Errors crept in. And at some point in his history, it's almost certain that the Eldar whispered in his ear and said, oh, 1 minute, stop working on Mark 9 armour, start working on Mark 10 armour. And by the way, build this suit of armour for Guilliman to help reanimate him, because Guilliman told you to do that before Guilliman died. But how could Guilliman ever tell him to build a suit of armour that would help him reanimate him for an event that Guilliman didn't even know was going to happen? So Guilliman couldn't have asked him to make the armour before it happened, because Guilliman didn't, because the Eldar whispered it in his ear and told him to make it. And Primarchs never forget. It's clear in all the Horus Heresy books and the Black Library books that, and Guilliman talks about it as well, that he remembers everyone he ever killed. He remembers every conversation he ever had. And when Belisarius Cawl is in the throne room at Macragge and talking to Guilliman about the armour, Cawl says, you told me to make it. And Guilliman says, I don't recall having that conversation.
And we know, obviously, with Farseers and the way Farseers work, the way they pick up the strands of the warp and the webway, etc., that they look and they see the strands of the future, and they know that they can affect certain things at certain times, which will affect which strands die out and which become stronger. So there is obviously a reason why they have asked for Guilliman to be resurrected.
So why has Cawl got trait allegiance stuff? Eldar. Why is Guilliman resurrected? Eldar. I strongly suspect that the Emperor of Man is dead, and Guilliman is wearing a suit of armour that was and he was reanimated using Eldar witchery for him to live. In the Fall of Cadia, it's quite clear that he died. He died. Dead. And it was the Eldar god of the dead that brought him back to life, along with the suit that Cawl made him. What does that do to a man's soul? Dying and coming back again. The Emperor of Man is dead, killed by a puppet wearing a suit of armour, and the strings are being pulled by the Eldar.
By the Inari specifically?
By the Eldar, Asiani, not necessarily the Farseers.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Well, that's a brief insight, I think, into the sort of stuff he's been speaking about, because in the last video we did on episode 5, we even chatted about how the God of Emperor of Mankind could be alive and be terror.
And maybe still alive, but that's one of the theories.
We won't ruin it, because you can go over and watch it.
He could still be alive. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things I love about this, is it really could go any way.
Yeah.
It could go in any direction.
Yeah.
As long as they keep it relatively believable and there is reason for it, and they back it up with decent narrative.
This is a good example of what we were talking about earlier on, is because I completely forgot about the question and what the question was. I'm not sure if we even answered the question or what the question was. But if you want to see more of this sort of thing, then go over to Moarhammer and listen to two middle-aged men talk about 40k for many hours.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be 2 videos already. There's 3 more in the bank. It's really good stuff to sit and paint to. and listen to 40k. If you like the sort of thing, alternatively, you might think this is really bad stuff to sit and paint to because we don't ever get to the end of any conversation. I think we answered one question out of all the videos we did. I know we definitely answered one.
I think we've done better than that this time
Did
round.
we think we did two?
Yeah, I think we've done better this time round.
That's
which is
100%
good.
better than last time.
And as we've said in all the previous videos, if you guys have got more questions, more theories you want to run by us, you'd like us to talk about, anything like that, literally anything, we can happily touch on.
Yeah. And I like the fact that I like sitting down and talking hobby. I like the fact that this is on. See, my channel's more known for the reviews and the tutorials and the battle reports, and I want to keep it that way, but I still like making these videos, so this is why I'm pimping this stuff again and again and again, because I want people to watch it, and I want the questions to come through, and I want you to come back and ask me some more questions, and drink more tea. Look, he bought me a mug.
I know. And I want to come and ask more questions and talk about them, because I get to come here and drink tea.
Yeah.
What more do you want from the hobby? When you're not building, painting, playing, what do you want to do other than talk about it? That's the whole point.
Exactly.
I'll let you wrap it up. It's your channel.
Shall we?
Yeah. I did the intro for you because you didn't want to.
But you're better at talking about things like, because your intros are 10 minutes long because you talk about the intro and that you're introing the intro for 10 minutes.
Oh, well, it's 10 minutes. Put people off.
Whereas, okay, what? So thank you very much for watching. If you want to see this more, the bad, there you go. Moarhammer. Happy wargaming.